So we're going to go out to Google here and go to our console. And I'd suggest following along if you have it up. Yes.
Should we wait to do the Tableau lab until we get close to doing the advanced part because we only have the internal?
Once you get your student access set up, it'll be a year you have. Yeah, so I would encourage you to do now because it'll help you to visualize as you're building your database. It might be actually helpful for you to visualize and see what it's going to look like, finished product. But as he said, you just sign up and was it instantaneous that they gave you your account once you put in your email address and stuff?
They give you the email, you just click it, and
Okay, so you should have it instantaneously. Gives you a year access to it. Okay. It will take a little while, but we go into our dashboard for Google and we hey, at least I didn't growl at you. I did that in a class. Over the microphone in a big class. Nothing else was working, so I growled over the microphone and everybody shut up. Imagine that. Okay, so 411, here's my compute instance, okay? If I click on it, which by the way, I made mine bigger because I'm planning to use it with like 50 people connecting to it. So mine's a lot bigger than all of yours, okay? So I realized that my little one was not gonna cut it with 50 people connecting to it. As those of you who were in my class, oh, it was this class a year ago. They all tried to connect to mine and it crashed my system. So okay, we can see I have an external IP. You should as well, okay? You're gonna wanna write that down, that IP address. That's what you're gonna put into Tableau when you go and set it up, okay? Then you have to create one, okay? Who does not have an external IP? Everybody? I wonder why mine has one. So we have to create one then, okay? Oh, once you start it up, I'm sorry, yeah, once you start it up, it should get one automatically. I was wondering why you didn't have one. Yeah, you can't connect internally. Yeah. I'm recording the lecture too, so you should be able to come back to this later if you need to. Okay, so once it's started, you have this external IP. You want to write that down. Okay, that's very important. You're going to need that later. You also need that port number, and the port number is 3306. In the interest of not having to go back and forth right now, I'm just going to write it on the board. What's that? That's my IP address. Yeah, you don't need my IP address. Okay. So that is a horrible marker. Who decided? I don't want that one anymore. You guys can. We'll leave it here for someone. Who decided to make a lime green whiteboard marker?
maybe it's a black.
Let's try this again. 3306 is your port. Okay. Those of you in the back of the room. It doesn't go any bigger.
I got that.
I'm in a silly mood today. All right. 3306 is the port you're going to want in your public IP, not my public IP. Okay. You'll keep trying and trying and trying. You will not get in. Okay. All right. So now the next thing we need to do is we have to go here and say view network details. Okay. And what that's going to do is it's going to take us to this screen where we can go and configure our network. Okay. And once it loads, okay, we're going to scroll down here and we can see I have some firewall rules. Okay. And one of them is, where's it at here? Tableau right here. Oops. It just scrolled past. I called it Tableau. I'm going to show you how I created it though. Okay. Oh my gosh. 3306 and the IP range. But let me show you how I created it. Okay. If this thing ever stops scrolling funny. Okay. Before I do that though, look at this. This is my active firewall rules inbound to my network. Okay. This one here is my internet rule. It allows all IP addresses. Okay. I can lock this down to my own IP at home, but then I'd have to do the exact same thing at school and anywhere else I went. So I did something very bad from a security perspective. I opened it up to the whole world. So anybody in the world can get into my database server right now. Okay. But I really don't care because there's nothing important there. If they screw up my database server, who cares? I'll go build a new one, right? But I wanted to be able to show it to you and not have issues connecting to it. Okay. If you're at home, you can put your IP address in here. Okay. And if you're here, you can put your IP address for here. You don't have to do it the way that I've done it. But if you do, you do it that way. Okay. If you try to do it at home and you have issues, don't come to me trying to figure it out. This should work if you do it this way. Okay. Then you can go back and figure out how to lock it down on your own free time. Okay. Now, I have 3306 listed here. I created that rule up there. Okay. These are the other things that are open to my server. I have SSH open and I have whatever this one is. I don't remember what this one is. RDP. I don't need RDP, so I should probably turn that one off. Okay. And then ping. ICMP is ping. Okay. So those are open to my server. So how did I do that? I went into firewall rules here on the left. Okay. And I went in and I say create firewall rule. Okay. And I gave it a name. Okay. I'm just going to give it another name that's similar to what I had. You can't put spaces in or anything like that. Okay. I'm not going to turn on logs. If you turn on logs, it's going to use up all your credits. This is a test environment. Okay. If someone really wants to get in your machine and this particular one that you're using for this particular exercise in class for your exercise, you know, who gives a crap, right? Now, firewall rules and then create firewall rule at the top. You name it whatever you want. I named it Tableau just so I would remember what it was. But actually, technically, it's not just Tableau. It's any SQL access from the outside. So it's probably not the right name for it. But anyways, if I turn on logs, I'm going to start generating a lot of firewall logs, which are going to cost me money or cost me credits. Okay. So I don't recommend that you turn those on for this environment because it's not a real environment. What I do recommend that you do, and you'll learn this as you go through the book here soon. Actually, you should have learned it in, might have been chapter 5 or 6. I told you how to do a SQL dump. I would do a SQL dump periodically. So after you do a bunch of work in your database, I would do a SQL dump, okay, and keep that file just in case something happens to your database, okay. That way, if something happens, at the very least, you can restore your file from that SQL file, okay, that or SQL dump file, okay. Now, I'm just going to leave the defaults there for the first one, network. Okay. I don't think I need to change it. Yeah, I don't need to change it. I only have one network. Okay. I don't need to change the priority. What I am going to do is make sure it's on ingress because we want it inbound traffic. Okay. Egress is outbound. We don't need to open a firewall rule for that. We already have one that opens up to everything going outbound. Okay. What we want is something inbound so we can connect to our server. Okay. We want to allow. Okay. Now, target tags. This is our instance name, okay? I don't recommend that you do all instances on the network, okay? Because then no matter what you create, it's open on that port. Do it for a specific instance, and you can do that with a tag. And so if you click specify target tags, and I'm hoping that mine is stored in here. It is not. Okay, let me show you where to find that. So if I go, you can open a new window to do this. I think it's dial-up, right? What's really happening is I think someone in the back is streaming like an HD 4K movie. Yeah. All right. You say that, but I've walked around the lecture hall in the big one I'm in, and people are streaming during my lectures. So I'm really boring, apparently. Okay, compute engine. It should pop up here, and we can look at the tag in just a second. Yeah, the target tag is in the configuration for your instance. So I'm going to show you where to find that. Okay, we have to have a second window to the instances, and once our 14K modem downloads this web page, we'll be in good shape. It's a joke for any of you who know what a 14K modem is. Okay, we go here and we click on, oh, sorry, it's right here. We click on the name. No, not the instance ID. So we go down here. Okay, network tag right here. Oops, it scrolled too fast. It's called network tag. That's what you want to copy. This is getting ridiculous. Yeah, that one right there. Okay, you're going to want to copy this, and then you're going to go back to this window and you're going to paste that into the box. Yours is probably named the same as mine. Okay. Yeah, under target tags right there. You just paste that. Okay, and that's it. Now you go down. Our internet's gone back to 1995, I think. It feels about this speed. Something like that. 2400 baud modem in my first computer. The had a modem, I guess. All right, source IP ranges. So this is where we're going to put in that 0.0.0, or if you want to go and do your own IP, you can, okay? That's our source IP range, okay? We're going to scroll down to specified protocols, click TCP, and we're going to type in 3306, that big port on the board there. Okay. Yeah, so your source IP will be this. Source IP will be 0.0.0.0/0. Okay. If you want to allow your own IP address, you can do that. Okay. That's open up to anything on the internet. Once we save this, yes, yeah, that opens up. If you want to lock it down to your own IP at home, you can. I'm showing in class this because then I'm not dealing with these issues in class when we're trying to do this stuff. Okay. But you can lock it down if you want. Just remember, you have to come to class and then open it up to the school's IP when you're here. I don't leave this open, by the way. I just open it before. I shut it off when I'm done here so that I don't accidentally leave it open for people to go into. Okay. But this is not a best practice. You don't want to do this in the real world. Okay. You get fired for this. You not only get fired, probably go to jail, because incompetence, All right. 3306. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and say create. Now I already have this, so I don't need to click create on it, but you guys do. Okay. So you're going to click create. I'm going to click cancel because I already have the firewall rule. It's going to give me an error. Doesn't matter what you name it. Just name it something you remember because, if you name it one or chicken or something, then how do you know what it is, right? And I have seen firewalls with rules written like that where the label is really dumb, okay? And then nobody knows what the rule is. They're trying to read through it to figure out, well, I think this is allowing this. And you want to make it where you remember what it is, okay? A lot of times in the real world, you put a ticket number for the person who, if someone requested it, you'll have a trouble ticket number. You'll put the ticket number in. That's how you kind of track it from that perspective. All right. So I've got a protocol here, a 3306 TCP. I've got an IP range. Okay. I've got allow. This allows me to get in from the internet. Okay. Now, this allows me to get in from the internet, but my SQL server isn't, well, mine's set up. Yours is not. Okay. So how do I allow access? I go into here, into my MySQL again. And yes. Google deleted your project. You start from scratch again. You follow instructions again. Why would they delete your project though? No, it should be there. Are you in the right account? Are you in the right account? Because there's multiple billing accounts that can be multiple Google accounts. And you pull the right project because you can have multiple projects too. Like right here, I have a bunch of projects. Um, I don't know why that would happen. I honestly don't know. I've never seen that happen before. If you put in a coupon code, you should have a project underneath that ID, and it should be there still. They don't just arbitrarily delete things unless they'll shut them down when you run out of credits, but they won't delete them. So, but okay, so let's get back here. You should be able to go back through this and after you get it all set up. Yeah. So now I've got the firewall rules set up. Now I have to go into my SQL server here. Oops, that's not my SQL server. Wrong thing. Oops. And I've got my VM right here. Okay. Yeah, I got to remember what my password is though. What the heck happened to it? Oh, that's. You all knew my password. Okay, it's my default password. All right.
You're looking for sudo rm-rf.
Uh,
I'm jealous. I want to get a I have to go back and look it up. That's it.
someone changed my password already. Gosh. There we go. Okay. So I ran a command earlier, and I actually showed this in the SQL tips channel. Okay. I don't know what column it is, so we'll just say this. You don't need to copy this. I'm just trying to. Yeah. Sorry. All right. So I ran a command earlier. I posted this, by the way. This is how you can take all your SQL that's getting stored temporarily, pop it into a table so you know what you've already done. Like you can keep a record of it in a table. Okay. It's kind of helpful. Okay. So, It's no longer there. Shoot. I did it before I put up that table. So let's see here. There's no point typing any of this. I've got to find the command so you can all type it. And I don't remember what command it was. I'll see it when I'll recognize it when I see it. Yeah, do you want to? Well, actually, we can't because I'm streaming. So we have to turn off the streaming. Yeah. YouTube will remove that recording so fast if you put any music. Okay. That doesn't stop you singing your own made-up song, though, if you really wanted to. Or playing something that you make up yourself. Still copyrighted, even if they didn't. Yeah. Copyright law applies. Oh, it's 75 years, I think, plus the life of the author. So, yeah, it's still a long time.
Product keys invalid. What?
My goodness. I don't think it was that far back. Let me do this. All right. Where did I put it at? Oh, I think it's in the lab, actually. I think it's in the lab.
Do you think it's kind of shady for them to say 256, but then like it is 256. It is 256, but right. But a lot of people just don't get that right. Yeah. It's the total storage, but usable storage is different. I think we need to try to do this. I think that's the game. Yeah. But actually, as I downloaded it in an email that they sent you, there's a download link to actually download the software. But I mean, that's not.
This is it.
No, I didn't get it. No, I mean, the first time on the website. Oh, so
Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to do a grant. Okay. I wonder if I can find it easily here in this table. Let's see here. Select the specific of it. Select star from MySQL dot general log where like grant it's not being there. Okay. So let's try this one. grant all on, and whatever the database you call, so mine is called Whole Nut Foods, okay? Bless you. And then that tells it all the tables in Whole Nut Foods.
Wait, so am I just doing that grant statement right there?
Yeah, we're just doing this grant statement. And it's our host name, or our username. And then right now we only allow localhost, which is how we're able to get into our database. We're going to open it up to our IP address. So to find our actual IP address, this is the one where I don't recommend you open up the MySQL itself to the whole internet, okay? What I recommend doing is going to what's my IP, or what is my IP, whatever it's called. I guess it's whatismyip.com, okay? And you get a site like this. Doesn't really matter here because we all probably share the same pool of IP addresses. So this is what mine is, okay? We're going to copy this IP address. Yours may be the same, it may not. At home, yours is going to be different though. Okay? But if I do this, this means that even though my Google servers open up to the world, my MySQL will only respond to requests from this particular IP address, okay? So that means here in the classroom, I can get into it, but from home, I wouldn't be able to get into it unless I did a similar rule. Okay? And that should work. Okay.
Do we call it Whole Nut Foods?
No, that's my database name. So that's whatever your database is called. You're going to have to do this for each database that you have. Yeah. You can do show databases to show you what you have on there. Okay. What's that? You created a database for the class, I think, last time. You're going to do this. I'm showing you examples. So you're just going to do this for whichever database you have, like January 29th. You have to do a grant for each database that you want to grant access to. Yeah. But right now, the firewall is going to allow traffic on port 3306 to the host. But the database server is not going to actually let you access the database until you open this up on the database side. You'll get a permission denied error. Okay. So if I were to try to, let me show you Tableau right now. I did open it up for my Whole Nut Foods, but I didn't open it up for another database. If I try it with another database, it's going to give me an error. Okay. I've done a grant to the root user, okay, on that IP address. But it's not finished yet. I have to do this to save the changes. I have to go flush privileges. Okay. And now if I do show grants for root at, and then whatever that IP address was, okay, I can see